Big releases this week, but only 2 are worth your time and your emotions. Let's break it down. The NFL's scariest play is here. It's him opening on September 19th. Football just got its first horror movie, and no one's making it out of this season alive. Quarterback Cameron Cade's NFL dreams gets wrecked, but instead of retiring to become a TikTok fitness coach, he is lured to train with his idol, Isaiah White, at a creepy remote compound. Think of it as a devil's advocate meets Friday Night Lights. It starts off like a sports drama, then 10 minutes later, you're questioning reality. Produced by Jordan Peele, because apparently the man won't rest until everything in American culture is terrifying. Racism, suburbia, now the NFL. What's next? Haunted pickleball. So what do you think? Should Tom Brady have signed with this creepy cult instead of retirement home Miami? Drop it in the comments. Him kicks off the spooky season on September 19th. Coming in hot, literally. It's The Lost Bus, the story of a school field trip that turned into the Hunger Games. Based on true events, it stars Matthew McConaughey and America Ferrera, who are somehow keeping a bus full of kids alive while the world burns around them. What keeps The Lost Bus from going full PlayStation is a pulsing performance from McConaughey as a flawed dad desperately trying to reach his ill son. This movie is a masterclass in watching a guy whose entire brand is chill get progressively less chill with every passing mile. Directed by Paul Greengrass, you might be expecting The Rock to lead this school bus simulator, but instead, America Ferrera quietly steals the show, channeling her inner Barbie to put on a heroic and calm performance. And here is some additional trivia. McConaughey secretly got his own son cast in the film by hiding the last name. Classic Hollywood nepotism. So if you're craving a survival thriller that'll awaken your inner arsonist, The Lost Bus hits theaters on September 19th and will be on Apple TV Plus on October 3rd. We've all heard that classic saying, if you love something, let it go. Well, A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey takes the exact opposite approach. It's a romantic fantasy where if you love someone, you stalk them through timelines like Loki. Basically, it is Back to the Future meets The Notebook. The movie stars Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell as 2 people whose lives are magically linked. The film follows their epic journey across the city, pulled by an invisible string. Same old formula, 2 hot strangers, 0 exchange digits, and a whole lot of excuses to relive your worst dating disasters. Directed by Kogonada, the supporting cast is stacked. Kevin Kline, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Lily Rabe, Jodie Turner-Smith, among the last actors not yet snatched into the Marvel Universe. The film's basically a slideshow of everyone's past dating fails. What's yours? Mine's still texting an ex at 3 a.m., only to get a reply from her new boyfriend. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey drops on September 19th. It's an insane, magical fever dream that's less about love and more about a kidnapping. Next up, The Senior, the only football movie where the MVP shows up with an AARP card. The Senior tells the true story of Mike Flint, who at 59 decided to rejoin his college football team. It's basically Rocky, for people who should probably just be in rocking chairs. Michael Chiklis stars as the senior citizen who proves it's never too late to go back to school and embarrass yourself in front of a younger generation. Tons of ways to describe this, like Old School meets Longest Yard, or Back to School meets The Blind Side. Basically, a greatest hits playlist of football cliches. Directed by Rod Lurie, who somehow makes middle-aged football feel like a thriller. It's old school drama, second chances, and halftime chats about knee replacements. It's inspirational, sure, but the real suspense is whether he finishes like a champ or flat on a stretcher. If feel-good films about never too late get your blood pumping, The Senior kicks off September 19th. Apollo 13 is getting a re-release on September 19th. You know, that classic space movie where everyone already knows the ending? That one. It's basically a suspense film for people who have never read a history book. The 1995 film stars Tom Hanks as Jim Lovell, alongside Kevin Bacon and Bill Paxton, as three guys who won a lottery to go to the moon and then immediately wished they hadn't. The real MVP is the Mission Control call center on Earth. Nerds rule. Rediscover, Houston, we have a problem, and failure is not an option. Phrases I also mutter before every Tinder date. So, mark September 19th on your calendar. Apollo 13 is back in theaters, reminding us that space might be cold and unforgiving, but at least it has good movies. All right, you know a movie is aiming for Oscar bait when the title is just a guy's name. This week, it's Steve, which sounds less like a film and more like a documentary on an average accountant. Cillian Murphy, whose face looks like he just survived reading the internet's rude comment section, plays a head teacher trying to survive both a school full of teenagers and his own unraveling sanity. It's not Dead Poet Society, it's Dead Inside Poet Society. The film unfolds over a single, chaotic day, kind of like 24, except the terrorists here are hormones and endless meetings. Based on Max Porter's novella Shy, the film is less fun teacher inspires kids and more Call of Duty. So if you've been feeling a little too happy lately, Steve is the film for you. A man discovering the real nuclear meltdown isn't on the battlefield, it's happening in the lunchrooms. Xeno is like if E.T. in District 9 had a messy desert baby, starring a creature that looks like it lost a fight with a blender. Directed by Matthew Lauren Oates, Xeno feels like Stranger Things if it happened in the desert, with fewer bikes and way more livestock casualties. Lulu Wilson's Renee wants to protect it, the government wants to dissect it, and the alien just wants to infect it. How to Train Your Alien lands September 19th, or as the government calls it, Illegal Immigration 2.0. And finally, for the other movies hitting theaters this week, first up, we have London Calling. It's about a hitman who screws up a job, and the mob's HR department decides his punishment is babysitting the boss's son to teach him to man up. I guess we finally found the exception to the No Child Left Behind rule. Next, we have Night of the Reaper. This movie is a shining example of what happens when a horror filmmaker has an idea and then decides not to have another one. College student Dina takes a last-minute babysitting job, only to have a masked villain crash the party with creepy calls, weird videos, and Elmer Fudd's sneaking skills. It's Wes Craven's version of Home Alone. American Sweatshop follows Daisy, who's got the worst job in history, scrolling through humanity's darkest videos. All those cat videos, right? The content moderator's job goes from soul-crushing to crime-solving when she becomes obsessed with a disturbing video and decides to find the person responsible. Because apparently, in this world, the cops don't exist. Next, we have Dirty Boy. Isaac's life goal was just to be left alone, but his cult decided to frame him for murder instead. Nothing says we care like gaslighting and human sacrifice. Sadly, this movie ruins the good family reputation of cults. Set in the 90s, Plainclothes follows Lucas, an undercover cop torn between emotional duty and police duty. The director put so much of his heart into this film. I just wish he'd put some of his lunch money into a better camera, too. All right, troll pundits. If you're wondering which new movie to catch this September 19th weekend, I've done the homework for you. Top choice? Him. The football horror tracking a 20 to 30 million opening with IMAX on board. Produced by Jordan Peele, so expect half your friends to already say, I loved his new movie. It's the first sports movie where the coach tells you to hydrate with holy water. Second pick, a big, bold, beautiful journey. Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell, sweeping romance. It's bold, it's beautiful, and it's probably not making its budget back on opening weekend. And the dark horse, that's a toss-up. Fiery Field Trip or Football with a side of Bengay. Your call. The Lost Bus has critics raving, with McConaughey driving the kids through an apocalypse. Meanwhile, The Senior has Michael Chiklis bulldozing through the kids on the way to the end zone. Bottom line, Him will have you screaming, Journey will keep you dreaming, and the rest? Forget it. Just wait for streaming. Check back next week for your weekly dose of movie madness, and as always, let's get watching.